Okay, Isabel Hilton, thank you for talking to the EU Asia Centre. How serious do you think the environmental problems are in China today?
China's environmental problems are threatening China's prosperity. They're certainly threatening China's future growth. They're threatening China's health. They're threatening food security, water security. They impact on every aspect of life and indeed the economy in China. And there are a number of aspects. There's the accumulation of environmental damage from 2 or 3 decades of the kind of growth that China's had. There's the ongoing pollution, as yet unresolved. And there's the impact on future things like how you expand energy when you have very little water. They're complex, they're compound, and they're very serious.
Now, the Chinese Communist Party in its 5-year plan has put sustainable development as the #1 priority. Do you think they're going to be able to tackle it under the current system?
I think they'll be able to tackle some things, but I really don't think that, certainly within the life of this 5-year plan, we're going to see huge progress in things like contamination issues, pollution issues. And that's partly because whilst China has very good laws and very good regulations, the application of those laws and regulations falls very, very far short of what's required. So it's a governance issue, it's a systemic issue, and I think that's going to take time.
Now, the environment is one of the main areas of cooperation between the EU and China. What do you think the EU can do to help China deal with its problems?
Well, I think that the EU is actually quite a useful sounding board for China, quite a useful mirror. After all, the EU has been through an industrial revolution. The EU has quite sophisticated models of urban design. The EU has a lot of technical and practical expertise, but also the EU understands the role of civil society, the role of open information, the role of transparency in resolving these intractable problems. And I think that although China tends to ask Europe for technology, there are other equally valuable things that China could learn from Europe in governance issues.
Isabel Hilton, thank you for talking to the EU Asia Centre.
My pleasure.